Refugees and asylum seekers are coming to the UK because they've had to flee from persecution in their countries. They come from lots of different countries: Africa, from the Middle East, Far East Asia, and also some parts of Eastern Europe. They're coming here to seek safety and refuge.
I've been through so much difficulties in my country. I helped someone, one of my relatives. I couldn't stand to just see her suffering the way she was suffering. So it brought me through a lot of problems.
I worked as a teacher in secondary school in Russia. They had a secure job and a good future, promising. Things started changing when I opposed government and its policy.
And that is the main reason why I find myself, after so much torture and suffering, here without any relation, any friend.
Either I have to be with them, or the consequences are death, to be killed or to be imprisoned.
I never chose to come. I had to flee against my will, abandon work, friend.
The only thought which dominated my head is about salvation of my life. And I didn't know anything about the welfare system of Great Britain. I didn't know that I am entitled for any benefits.
I just want people to understand it's very hard, and I don't wish anyone to be in this situation.
My name is Alia Safar. I'm from Iraq, Baghdad, from 2004. I worked for 2.5 years for the British Embassy as an accountant, and I moved to US Embassy on January 07 because I work with foreigners there. It's like my life is in threat all the time, and I left Iraq on October 7. I waited for a long time until I will get my refugee status. Then, after refugee status, I start to look for a job.
Some of the key barriers facing refugees in accessing education, employment and training opportunities include people in the UK not recognising people's qualification, their past experience.
You've got people who want to work, who have got skills that are useful and necessary even, and people who've got a lot of energy to bring to society, I guess, in its wider sense, and they're not currently getting the opportunity to do so.
Even if I work at the British Embassy in Baghdad, they said no, they want a UK experience and you have to have a degree. I have a degree, and my degree, compared with my country, is perfect. They don't know it here. You have to finish a degree from the UK.
Employers just need to give people a chance. I'm sure they were pleasantly surprised, because certainly all the things that I've seen in RETAS and the people I've seen come through the doors and some of the case studies that I've read about, that really drives home that the really deep level of knowledge that's there. You know, we're not talking about people who've just done a few weeks here and there. We're talking about people who've been doing a job for years in some cases. You know, deeply skilled engineers, teachers, academics in a wider sense, accountants even.
Amongst the general population in the UK and amongst employers, there's a lot of misunderstanding and misconceptions around refugees and asylum seekers, what they're entitled to, and maybe whether there's confusion about if people can work or whether they can't.
When I go to interviews, the people who interview me, they don't understand that the people who has a refugee status, they are allowed to work.
A lot of people also struggle to get any kind of UK work experience, and a lot of jobs that people apply for require experience in the UK, and people just don't have that.
I see all sorts of different types of businesses, be it financial services, be it manufacturing, be it retail businesses, and a fairly common theme that I do hear talked about is how they can't get the people to do the jobs that they want, and you know they're getting CVs through the door and they can't quite get the right people. But and it strikes me that they're missing an entire group of people out here, people with skills that for whatever reason that they won't approach, or they won't look at the CVs. You've got this pool of talent and energy that's just not being tapped.
How can I start building a UK experience if they don't even try to let me work? So even I tried with like a voluntary job, and they keep saying, "Oh, your experience doesn't match."
As a consequence to these barriers, there are a lot of people who are unemployed or underemployed. So we come across quite a few people who are professionals in their own countries, yet are doing very low-skilled jobs here in the UK. So we have people at the moment who are with us who are doctors working as a postman, or accountants working in a warehouse, or we have a guy who is a welder and he was working in a pizza takeaway shop. At RETAS, we try and assist people in their integration through helping them with their education, their English, their training, requalification, and eventually employment.
You know, what strikes you as the biggest thing when you're speaking to people in RETAS is, you know, people really wanting to do something, and that drive to kind of change their situation is something that stands out an absolute mile. They don't want to just do nothing, they want to use the skills and abilities and experience that they've got. And you can't help but be impressed.
I still believe that I can be useful with my education, with my qualifications.
And what we'd really like is employers to take on a refugee on a job placement, to give that person some UK experience.
I'm working for HBOS Leeds. I'm in the share dealing department.
She's very thorough, she asks questions, she's always asking, she's quiet, she's asking for work to do, she's very proactive.
We at RETAS see many refugees, all of whom really are desperate to work.
She's hard-working, she's shown that commitment being there, and if for every workforce we had somebody like Elia working there, it'd be excellent, it'd make our job a lot easier.
We are just looking for employers to give people a chance.